Good morning. It's a blessing to be here this morning. It's a blessing to see all these faces. I have been in Houston all but 43 days. And this is the first time I've been able to shake hands and meet people, especially some of our board members who I have not met, but I've had meetings with on Zoom. Great to meet you. Blessed to be here. I want to spend a few minutes to talk to you about my vision, talk to you about the Sam Houston Area Council. For over 100 years, the Sam Houston Area Council has impacted the lives of many thousands of youth. They've impacted them with the principles of scouting: duty to God, duty to country, and duty to the community. Being physically active, doing a good turn daily, and most of all, being prepared. How many of us wish we were prepared when we were coming up? That's key. The principles of scouting also establish our youth to be good peer leaders today that will be extraordinary leaders tomorrow. That's the value of scouting. I want you to imagine this. Imagine a 12-year-old scout administering CPR, first aid, at a critical time. Imagine that. Or imagine a 14-year-old scout learning financial literacy, learning budgeting at 14 years old. That's priceless. But most of all, think about our youth in the inner city Houston. They have not had an opportunity to leave their neighborhood. They get a chance to leave their neighborhood to get that first camping outdoor experience because of scouting. And that cannot happen without your support, and we thank you for that. Now, scouting, with your support, helps us develop the next generation of leaders. When I mean leaders, I mean parents, I mean lawmakers, I mean taxpayers. We all love to pay taxes, come on. If I was to do a show of hands, who love to pay taxes, this entire room would have their hands up. Did I not mention, duty to government? Did I not mention that? All jokes aside, the National Council, Boy Scouts of America, has filed for Chapter 11 financial restructuring. It's no secret. We see that on the news, we see that on the internet. But here, the Sam Houston Area Council, it's a strong council. All of your contributions, financial investments, stay right here to impact our youth, to make a difference in our families. That can't happen without you. We thank you for the community support. It definitely makes a difference. And I want you to know this, that scouting is the most premier, the most safe place for youth to establish leadership and to develop skills right here in scouting. Also, you're having breakfast this morning with the #1 council in the Boy Scouts of America. That's the Sam Houston Area Council. Give yourself a hand for that. I'm going to tell you why you're having breakfast with the #1 council. I'm from Louisiana, but I came here from Chicago, the warm, windy city of Chicago. Even in Chicago, we always would peek to see what Sam Houston Area Council was doing. There's 253 other Boy Scout councils that rely and depend on the Sam Houston Area Council for direction, for leadership. All serious, they do. You ask, well, why are we #1? I will tell you why we're #1. Because of you, because of the community, because of the churches, because of the love for scouting here in this community. That's why we're #1. But also, our volunteers, our executive board that's out there now, our board of directors, they make the difference. You make the difference. And we love you for it, and our youth will love you for it. We develop leaders. That's our #1, developing leaders. We want to continue to develop leaders. We all know the sign of a true leader is when adversity strikes. What will he or she do when adversity strikes? We've all been there before. The sign of a true leader is to make that right decision. I'm here to tell you that the principles, many of you know this, the principles of scouting help our young people learn leadership, and that is needed more now than ever. And our scouts, at the end of the day, the community service, the leadership that we do, it goes unnoticed, and that's okay, because we do this because it's the right thing to do. We do this because we are good stewards of our community. We truly believe in leaving our community better than we found it. That's what we're about in scouting. And that cannot happen without you and your input and your impact. I want to thank you for that. When I mean good stewards, scouting reinforces. Do a good turn daily. But most of all, leave it better than you found it. To think globally and strategically. Also, to live in the present. But remember that you're living in the present, but you have to plan for the future. And most of all, our scouts, they know and they appreciate that they are a part of something much larger and bigger than themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, that's stewardship. That's scouting. That's what you allow us to do. Now, I want to take a moment to let you know that all of our scouts in the Sam Houston Area Council, they're environmentally and socially conscious stewards. That's key. We care about the community. But I know you didn't come here to see me, so I won't stay up here too long. What I want to do is take a minute to introduce you to a young scout that is so sharp, that is so intelligent, that I'm like, wow, we have to hire her. This scout, like all scouts, especially our Eagle Scouts, they believe in leaving it better than they found it. But also, they have a strong personality. They have a strong will, and they have grit. I want you to know that during a pandemic, when many people were hunkered in, this scout took it upon herself to create a project. And this project was just not a regular project. This project she created, she focused, she was disciplined with this project. And to me, she stayed on task. She achieved her goals at that age during a pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, that's grit. That's scouting. Without further ado, Isha Pakerna, please come to the stage, and we'd love to hear your story.